Hello and welcome to another episode of Northside Now. This is the podcast where we take you on a tour through all of the ministries and the latest happenings around Northside Church to keep you better connected with your church family. My name is Patrick, and with me as always are my co-hosts, Glenn Miller and Kevin Bryant.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Hola. I just came flying in from outside because I was looking to see if there was a balloon over the church.
Now, is Yako up there? Is that...
So, did y'all get caught up in the balloon?
Only when you texted
over the
me.
Weekend? I was caught up in it. They were just making such a big.
You were caught up in it like the balloon boy?
Yeah,
got caught up?
like the guy from Up. You know?
It was being pulled off the ground.
Yeah.
It's just so
crazy.
crazy. We spent a ton of money and energy. How much money did CNN and Fox News and all those 24-hour places?
Oh.
How much money did they spend chasing a balloon across America for this past week or last weekend?
They had content.
They
didn't have to make it up.
Oh my goodness, y'all!
That's pretty cynical, though.
Yeah, it was funny stuff. So, anyways, the balloon's gone.
We're safe.
Yeah.
We're safe. Whatever.
I guess they could still get on Google Earth and...
Yeah, why put out all the effort and energy? What else is going on with y'all? Anything exciting besides that?
Well, we're still as a church, we're in our search for the next generation of leadership.
Yeah,
so to speak.
And they're moving forward on that. So it's good.
Youth survey and they got all kinds of other meetings and conversations going. So that feels good. We're pushing ahead.
Yeah.
Moving on up.
That's right.
Hopefully before the weather gets too warm, we'll have a bunch of new people to interview that are on staff. So that'll be fun. And we survived, all the award shows are hitting up, Grammys, Oscars, all that stuff. And
it's the first year in a long time that I haven't watched the Grammys. I used to make it a point to watch the Grammys every year, and I forgot it was even happening last week. So,
well, the cool thing is we have a guest coming in today who is going to remind us that sitting around in rocking chairs and hanging out, just getting to know one another is way more fun than chasing balloons on TV or bad music or anything else like that. So we have Vanessa. She's the executive director from El Ayudante here in town. And she spoke at after church yesterday at a special event here at Northside, and was so awesome to come and sit down with us and to record a podcast with us. And her and John Button, who I believe is still the board director, leader, president. Well, I don't know what they call them exactly. But anyways, they came and sat down with us and had a great interview. And I know Vanessa from back on trips to El Ayudante, and it was fun to reminisce a little bit with her, but really important and fun to see what all's going on in that ministry.
Yeah. That
they've got the kids and there's teams starting to come back a little bit. So some really fun, exciting, positive things coming out of Nicaragua. And so I guess we might as well turn it over to her because she has a lot of good, fun stuff. Good time with her today.
Yeah.
We have a very special guest here in the podcast room with us today. We have Vanessa from El Ayudante. Hola.
Hola.
Hello. We are glad you are here in the United States with us. Yeah, you were with us in church yesterday, and you got to talk with folks and everything. And I kept going, I'm going to get to spend a lot of time with Vanessa tomorrow, so I'm going to let everybody talk to her now because she's one of my most favorite people on the whole planet, not just in Nicaragua.
Oh, thank you.
We've had a lot of fun over the years. And we also have John Button with us, who is here as well. So, Vanessa, what do you think about the awesome podcast room? Isn't it wonderful?
Wow. Yes. I was really in shock when I came in here and saw the wall, especially the wall. It was so nice. Beautiful.
Make sure you
Very interesting.
Make sure you take lots of pictures so you can show everyone in Nicaragua how amazing the podcast room is. And so, well, good. Well, we're glad you're here. Well, Vanessa, for those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you become the director of El Ayudante?
Wow, that's an interesting question. How? It was not in my mind. Never thought I will be the director of El Ayudante. I came, the founder from the El Ayudante, they looking for a legal representative, and I am a lawyer, and mutual friends, they talked about me, so he made this reunion, and then I have no idea how to speak English in that time. Or have to use a translator. I remember that. I exactly remember like it was yesterday. So they have a kind of question. I answer the question, and then I say I have another question. So that's the way how they was impressed with me, and they say we want to hire to be our legal representative. And then when they started talking about their dreams about El Ayudante, because when I started with them with El Ayudante, I started in 2003.
Okay.
So it was in the beginning. It was just building the ACN Center. It just in the beginning. But I was just falling in love when they showed me their the draft, like the plan.
The plans.
Yes, and I was like, really, this is beautiful. It's for the kid. And when you be in Nicaragua, when you go into Nicaragua and see a lot of in the street, all the kids, they playing each other baseball with probably we got rock and sock.
Yeah.
It's not like a real baseball. It is that they make it by their hand, and they use it whatever just to hit the ball. And it's touched my heart. And we have a lot of kids over there, but I thought, wow, this is beautiful because my own people, they can have, my children, they can have an opportunity how they can make their dreams come true. This is an opportunity, and this is awesome. So that's my first start working with El Ayudante. And then 10 years later, in 2010, I have a call from the board, and they say they have a challenge, a lot of change, and they were thinking about a local people to be the director, and they have 3 different candidates, and I have no idea, honestly. I found out later. They talked to me about it later. But when they talked to me, I was like, I don't know if I can do this, because this is many things. It's a lot of responsibility, and I don't know how to talk to you. I don't know, and this communication is so important. And I say, I don't know. I have my kid, my little son, and I don't know if I can do this. I'll talk to my husband and say, well, you have to do it, because this is God plans. It's not you. And that's the way how I come back and say, okay, I will do it, because this is something like God wants me to do it. I will, even when I not feel comfortable, because the language. Number 1, it was the language. Number 2, the culture. So I was very, very honest, and I told the board, I say, you know what, I don't know the language and I don't know the culture, but I'm very professional and I'm very passionate when I start to doing something. I say, I want to learn. Please help me. I want to learn, and I want to learn about your culture, because this is something like when you come in to Nicaragua, you will learn about my culture. And now, if I want to be the executive director, I need to understand, I need to know about your culture, because this is about love. Doing ministry, it's about love. It's about sharing. It's about relationship. And I just fell in love with that. And I was just passionate and say, I don't want to use a translator. They say, you can use a translator all the time. I say, I don't want to. Maybe in the beginning, but I don't want to use a translator all the time. So that was a challenge for me, but I'm here. And that's the way how I became the secretary director. And it was not easy in the beginning. It was.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in Texas and grew up.
We need a translator for you.
Exactly. And I knew a little bit of Spanish growing up, but I'm one of those that I don't know a whole lot of Spanish any longer. And it's something you got to use a lot.
When you said hola at the beginning, I think that was the extent of your Spanish, right?
Pretty close. I know baño.
Oh, okay.
Baño, por favor.
Good.
Just in case.
That's very important.
That's very important. But I understand wanting to know the language. So anytime I'm coming down, I like brush up a little bit, just so you can really talk to the children, because they love making fun of you if you mess up.
That's true.
So that's a lot of fun. And I was looking, you brought some videos yesterday to church, and I was amazed at how much the trees and the bushes have grown since I've been down last. But I remember when they were so little. they were little bitty bushes, and now they are monsters, and they are so beautiful. And I think that catches a lot of people off guard is when you drive onto the property of El Ayudante, it is gorgeous property. It is some of the most beautiful property and very comfortable place to be when you're on a team. It's very comfortable. It's and the food is great. I'm still brag about the last time we were down before COVID. The barbecued chicken legs we had that night, one night while we were there, were absolutely the best barbecue chicken legs I have ever had in my life. They were amazing.
You got to be careful saying that in West Tennessee.
I'm telling you. Well, there were other West, and we were all bragging about these barbecue chicken legs. They're amazing. They were just like, wow, So the cook is really good. That's always helpful. So yes, we love El Ayudante here at Northside, and it's a lot to my heart. And so we're glad that you're here. And we know your journey a little bit, but what about El Ayudante? What was the purpose of El Ayudante start? I mean, what was the purpose of that being right where it's at in Nicaragua? What was the real purpose for that?
The real purpose was building an orphanage.
Yeah.
Giving love and a home for the kids. That's why the name is, the center is ACN, means Nicaraguan Christian Home. Yeah, that was the beginning. It was an orphanage. That's why I fell in love with El Ayudante. Yeah, because when I was little, since I was little, I was very involved with the church, very involved. And my heart is just to serve others. That's the way how my dad teaching me to be very, how do you say, humble?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that's why it's like, I can't imagine just be in this world and not share your love to others. So El Ayudante is about that.
Yeah. And it's about so how many children do El Ayudante have under their wing right now? How many children are a part of El Ayudante?
Right now, we have 31.
31
children.
Do you know how many have gone through over all the years? How many children have gone through El Ayudante's program?
Gone?
Been in the orphanage, or how many children altogether? 50
like 50,
or so?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. To know that you played that large a role in 50 lives is huge. That's pretty cool. And it's the children of El Ayudante in Nicaragua that just steal your heart. Patrick went in 2007?
2007, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've been down there.
But the kids, they just love you, don't they?
They're great, yeah.
They're awesome. And so to 50 children over time and 31 now? 31 kids now. And that's amazing. So what does a day look like? Because you're not as much an orphanage now, right?
Yeah.
Those things have changed over time. And so what does a day for one of the kids look like now?
They come in every day in the morning, really, really early in the morning, like 5:30 a.m.
Yeah, that's early.
Yes.
that's before the roosters even get going down there.
True. Yeah. So they come in early to eat breakfast. We provide the first meal, a good breakfast for them, and then they take the bus to go to public school. Yeah, then go back, or we send out the truck, the bus, to take them to go back at El Ayudante and eat lunch. We provide lunch. And then they have just the tutoring, by our teacher. Yeah.
So in the United States, Kevin, we all know that public school is pretty well, it doesn't really cost anything. Does it cost anything for kids to go to school?
No.
So it's totally free?
The difference with us is when we have a kid in the tutoring, I have to explain you why.
Yes.
Because all of the kids that are coming to us, their parents, they even don't went to the school. So they have no education. They don't know how to teach their kids. So if they have, they don't understand what they have to do. So that's why it's so important they giving the tutoring and to our kids. And the public school, yes, how the parents they're gonna send them to school if they don't have any money to provide food.
Yeah, exactly.
So, number one, the meals, the food. And number two, supplies, school supplies. How? So can you imagine the blessing that is El Ayudante, that is providing for those kids? Is totally make the difference on their family. It's a big blessing for them. That's why their parents bring their kid every day in the morning. They have to bring it to us by walking every day in the morning. And then at the end of the day, they come in, the parents, to take their kids to go back by walking.
Wow.
Because they appreciate and they know that how important it is, because we invest in their kid, in their family. So that is the huge
And that's one thing,
blessing.
Glenn, I wanted to say too, because as I've traveled internationally, I've been to Africa, I've been to Central America, I've been to South America. That's the one thing that I see a lot. One big difference between the U.S. and lots of other places is that for here, we take school for granted.
Yeah.
Because school is required and everybody can go. But in so many other places in the world, like you said, the adults never really went to school much, or if they did, they definitely didn't graduate. And we take that for granted here in the U.S. And just imagine the difference between, and Vanessa, you said this yesterday, how taking care of a child and getting them through being educated, how that changes the rest of their life and the rest of their future family's life. It really is life-changing in such a way that until you see it as a person, it's hard for us in the U.S. to understand.
We're breaking the cycle.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the huge thing.
Yeah, breaking the cycle,
Breaking the cycle.
changing the family tree. Right? You're setting them up for their whole family from that point forward will be extremely different. And education means so much, but you can't be educated. It's funny because we're learning this here in some of the areas around here at the church. We have some hungry children here, and it's hard for them to learn when they're hungry. You know, it's almost impossible.
Exactly.
When you're hungry, there's not much else you can think about.
There's not.
No.
And, you know, most of us here in the United States that are listening to this, we don't understand that kind of hungry because we go over to the refrigerator and grab whatever we want and pop it in the microwave anytime we want. And it seems like there's always something there. And that's just not the case around the world.
Yes, and please correct me if I am wrong. Here you have the public school, you have a program that they provide food for the kids.
They do.
And Nicaragua doesn't.
Yes.
We don't have that.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. They get a free breakfast and free lunch. And,
We don't have that.
and then there's organizations that help them take a backpack home with full of food over the weekend. Yeah, so you're exactly right. There are lots of programs like that. So
And even though we're talking about Nicaragua, it happens here.
it does, yeah.
You know, I know how many kids, they go hungry on the weekends because they don't have the meals in school. And so let's not forget, there's hungry children all over the world here, but also in Nicaragua. And so I think that's always going to be a challenge we have as humans to make sure that our brothers and sisters are fed and taken care of. And that's what Jesus calls us to do.
Oh, completely. In fact, I remember there was a feeding program at the city dump in Leon. I don't know if they still do that, but there was a feeding program there one time when we went. There was several times when I went. But one time I saw two dads get in a fight, I mean like a real fight, over a plate of food. You know, here we see those fights over Christmas presents at the store, which is ridiculous.
Yes.
But they were having that same kind of argument over food for their family. I mean, it was just a plate. And that impacted me like there's no tomorrow. And it was really some of the places that dropped the seeds for doing some of the stuff I'm doing with our community outreach here is to remember, I actually talking with some of the people that help were in the process of setting this up. I remember the pastors that work in all the barrios in Nicaragua and around El Ayudante. And El Ayudante works with them and everywhere. And they're the ones who have really inspired me to bring that up. It's like, hey, those pastors are working in their neighborhoods like that. Why aren't we? And because there's a need here and we need to. And so they were really pivotal and inspired me to start the new ministry zones we are here at Northside now. And so I am very thankful to those people because they shown by how they live on a daily basis how we all need to be. And, you know, it's a really big blessing in our church as well. You know, Northside's been a great sponsor and lover of El Ayudante and Nicaragua. And we have sponsored many of the children. I think my daughter still sponsors a child. So there is a sponsorship program. How does that work? What do you have to do in order to sponsor a child that comes through El Ayudante?
So to sponsor a child, you just really need to go to our website, eanicaragua.com.
Yeah.
And there, if you click on the sponsor, you can see bios of all of our children. And then you may want to pick out a child that's, you know, one of your children's age, or you see that they want to be a engineer or a doctor or something, so that you have something in common with them. And then you just click on that. And there are different levels of sponsorship to say, you know, part of it is whatever you feel called to give. But we, you know, hope people will do that reoccurring monthly. because then it allows us to budget and things. But it's really that simple. Or if you can't remember that, it's info@eanicaragua.com. And then we can get you hooked up with the information is what does it provide and exactly how you do it.
Yeah. I'm looking at the website right now as you're talking, and I'm looking at some of the older kids and remembering when they were little kids.
Yeah, they're not so little anymore.
They're not. And then I look up here at the beginning where there's little Paquito.
Yes.
And he's going to be, not long, he'll be as big as Yesprin.
Yes.
And it's fun to see them grow up. And it's so cool to watch them grow up.
You don't recognize them because there's a board on the wall that has pictures from about 5 years ago. And if you go try and find one of the children from those pictures, it will basically be impossible because they've really transformed over the last 5 years. And we've just recently updated the pictures on our website. So if you went up there and used those pictures, you could find them.
Now, John, I know you and your wife, Heather, have been involved with El Ayudante for a long time. I'm curious how you guys got connected and a little bit about your story.
Yeah, we got connected through Northside. Daphne Moses, our missions coordinator, she took a team, and my wife was really the one called to go. And I travel a lot, and I'm like, she's like, hey, they finally took a trip in the summer when she could go because she was a teacher. And she was like, we're going because finally they took a team in the summer. And I'm like, sure, I'll go. I like to travel. No big deal. I didn't, I'll go do that. And I hate to think the blessing that we would have missed. That was back in 2004. And with that, we sponsored Avanya, Deanna, and Chilo at the time. And they're all sisters. And they were malnourished when they came there. They weren't in school. They couldn't afford the school uniform. They were really scrawny, not very healthy 8-year-olds. And now they're 27, going to be 28 in September. And they've graduated. 2 of them have graduated college. So they've got full-time jobs. Chilo's a nurse. Avanya's in accounting. She's working at the local factory as a team leader. Wow. And then she's got 2 more months to do that. And then she's hoping to get into her field of study, into accounting. But she got her foot in the door. And really, with God's help and the support from El Ayudante and sponsors and that, it's changed their lives forever. They had hopes and dreams. And my favorite picture of them is back when they were little tiny. Maybe they were 15 or so it wasn't necessarily quite so tiny. But they held up a little chalkboard. Chilo wanted to be a nurse. She has a little sign that says, I want to be a nurse.
That's awesome.
Avanya had a little sign that said, I want to be an accountant. And we didn't have 15 different pictures, so whatever they wanted to be, we could show a picture later with that. There was one photo. That's what they dreamed of when they were little, and those dreams have come true. Didn't really have a mom or dad in the picture. And so it was, without El Ayudante, don't know what would have happened to those girls, but they worked really, really hard. And with some help from sponsors, a number of them, it wasn't just us. But we felt called to do that, and the blessing that has been in our lives is amazing. It gives you a perspective that otherwise you can't have, and that, you can help somebody else and that they know you love them.
Yeah. Summer, I think Carlos is.
Carlos is Summers.
They will FaceTime and or Skype or whatever they do, and so you can see them face. And I'll walk through the room and he goes, is that your dad? And so, because I remember when he was little, and so I'll get a chance to visit with him some if she's around when he does that. The cool thing is about that, sometimes in these sponsorship programs, you may get a letter around the holidays or something, but not El Ayudante. You're going to get to know your child, and they're going to know you. They remember everything. They'll ask about your dog. They'll ask, if you're doing this or that. And so it's really cool because you get to know the kids. Yeah. And if you go down as a team, if you go down on one of the teams, oh, wow.
You get to do something special with your child.
It's really wild. So that's really cool. I would encourage you to think about child sponsorships for sure.
Yeah, one of the neat stories is Crystal, who's one of the new kids.
Yeah,
we got to take her shopping. We were in Nicaragua recently on a small mission team, but we got to go take her shopping. She got to pick out her outfit. Normally, you just get something that it's good, and then the first ice cream cone. To see the smile on her face, that's what's priceless. And then the other thing, the video call. So if you can't go to Nicaragua, you can have a video call with you, a translator. Yeah. So and your child, we try and do that 3 or 4 times a year. And so that's the relationship is what's important.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to add that.
Yes.
It's relationship. Because that is the way how it's impact their life. Is they know and they never forget about you. They will like, oh, you're my padrino.
Oh, yes.
And mi madrina. And they like, and then we use you. Our staff, we say, tu padrino, in Spanish, tu padrino, sabe, tu padrino. I mean, we say, hey, we don't say your sponsor, we say, your godparent.
Yes. Oh, awesome.
Your godparent.
Yeah.
We call you.
Yeah.
He wants to know about you. He wants to see how you're in school, okay?
Yeah.
So be good in school. So that's the good things. And they like, okay. And then they say, I wanna see your grades. They say, because I wanna tell your godparents.
Yeah.
And they like, Doña Vanessa, I'm fine. Look. So that's the way how this is encourage them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes at home they have big issues at home, but El Ayudante is a safe place.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and that is so important for us. It's not like you say, maybe other programs or different ministry, I don't know. They don't have this kind of relationship.
Yes.
But for us, it's so important because we see where we, we can get the goals, you know. Yes, because we already have Jenny.
Yeah.
Jenny, Chilo, and Ivania, they graduate from college because sponsorship. They love them.
Yeah.
Right.
They treat like as a family, and so that is a good testimony and
Yes.
example for the
Yes.
rest of it. Yeah.
And Nicaraguans are really strong on relationships, period. And I think it's one of the first things you learn when you go down to Nicaragua is, we joke around here is Nica time, but they're going to take the time to visit. They're going to take the time to hug your neck, and they're going to want to know how you're doing. And it's not so much of, I got to hurry up and go, and that's, and the kids, it just feels like they know that from the beginning growing up. And so it's great that you keep that part of their lives, and the love they have spreads all over the place from that point on. So,
Glenn, I heard yesterday that the desire was to have a lot more sponsorships than we were able to do this time, right? With the people that listen to this podcast, I'd love for us to be able to say, we want to sponsor more kids.
yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you're feeling a tug on your heart, and this is not a high pressure sales tactic, this is something that will change your life, not just these kids' life. And I encourage you to just at least go to the website, check it out, because it really is a fulfillment of what we're called to do as Jesus followers. We are called to take care of each other. And I mean, I don't know exactly what the cost is, and it may change over time, but I got to believe with the number of Starbucks drinks we have and things like that, Patrick, just kidding, that if we're headed into the season of Lent as well, and we talk about those things that we sacrifice to focus on a relationship with God, it's not as difficult as it may seem. And so I encourage everybody to consider that. I know firsthand how lives can be changed across the world with some time and some money and some focus. And so it's really important passion of mine as well.
Kevin, you hit on the cost, and so it'd be great to share that. And the other thing is, I'd love to see us be able to track for this podcast to say how many people hear this and then act on it. So there is a comment section on the sponsorship form. You can choose your child, all of that. And so if you would just put in the comments, Northside Podcast, or if all you can remember is podcast, I don't remember whose it was, then we could help track that for them. And that would be kind of neat, because you're always wanting to know kind of what works, what doesn't. But it starts at as little as $35 a month. And so if somebody around this table would give up their Starbucks, that's probably one Starbucks a week.
Or a half a Starbucks.
Yeah, maybe even you could sponsor. So you could sponsor 2 kids. But if you did that, all we would need then is approximately 9.5 sponsorships. So if call it 9 people would give up that Starbucks for once a month, that would fully sponsor a child. So a full sponsorship is $330 a month. That's a lot, but it also it doesn't have to be a full sponsorship. You get all of the benefits of forming that relationships. And that's really what's important to our kids, because we'll fundraise and be able to make up the difference. But our dream is to add more kids.
Yeah.
So not to just keep the current kids we have. We feel called to add kids, but we need to have our current kids fully sponsored before we can really go and add additional kids.
Yeah, because it's important, these kids, and you don't have to do it all by yourself, right? Like you said, $35, a few Starbucks, a couple of eating outs, a dozen eggs, you can pay for
true.
That.
A Sunday school class is a great way to do it. A youth group, a Sunday school class.
Yeah, we sponsored a child for a good long while. Francis for a good long while growing up, and it's been a while since we've done that, but we need to have that conversation again, because that's a really important thing to do.
And you can do the video call as a group. So with Crystal, our Sunday school class does it.
Cool.
We've had 10 people over at our house, and so as more people in our Sunday school class want to join, we're going to have to come to the podcast room and do it. No, we'll do the conference room in the church.
Yeah.
So that more people. So that's a great thing.
Just remember, the podcast room is a hidden gem. We don't want
we won't tell anybody.
It's a secret.
And the video is really, really good in here.
It is good. We've talked about the kids a ton, but there's another component to El Ayudante, and that's the teams. Getting folks to come down and serve on a mission team. And the kids are a big piece of that, but also the communities, the areas around El Ayudante. I know the areas like out in the country, we talk about Cerro Negro, right? Mm-hmm. Patrick got to go sliding down that back in the day. I think when you could do that. I'm not sure you can do that anymore. Can you still do that? You can still do it? All right. So I've been down it.
They don't let you do the zip line anymore.
The zip line's over in Managua, right? Yeah. So, but yeah, that was fun. But there's a community out there, Matagalpa, right? Close to Cerro Negro. I think that we used to go to and stuff. So out in the country, that was always fun to see the pigs with their triangles on their heads so they won't go through the fence. But there's lots of ways that a team gets to come down and interact. They can do building projects. They can do VBS type things. There's all kinds of things they can do. So talk to us a little bit about the teams. Tell us the importance of having a team come down and some of the stuff they can do while they're there.
Well, number one, El Ayudante is not possible without the teams. Teams give us life.
Yeah.
It's a livelihood.
Yeah.
So can you imagine if we don't have teams, how El Ayudante survive during this difficult time, during this?
Yeah.
So honestly, many people thought, even the staff and the board, I have to say that, scared. They say, we're going to close. I say, no, this is not possible. And say, no, we have to pray. We need to pray. We have to have faith. And because this is God ministry. Mm-hmm. This is God ministry. This is not about men. This is about God. And we say we have to do something. Maybe we have to change because our staff been sacrificed during all this year. But we say we have to do it because we need to survive. Because no teams.
Yeah.
But the teams, it's changed us too. I mean, when we have teams at our campus, bring us hope, happiness, love. It's so good to have teams in our campus. Our staff, our translator, our kid. I mean, you bring us happiness. And sometimes you're thinking, I'm coming to the missions because we want to change their life, get an opportunity and everything. Yes, true. But also change your life.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
And that's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome because it's like we share and we learn each other's and we grow each other's and we work each other's doing mission. And then, we're brother and sister in Christ.
Right. Exactly.
And we have the same Father.
Mm-hmm.
And that's awesome to do this, and that's the one thing that I love to be now the secretary director in El Ayudante, because as a lawyer I was not involved with mission. It was different. It was just born. It's just the legal things, just the contract, or when there's some problems, or but executive director is different, and it is about your heart. It is about wisdom. It's about see Jesus day by day. Right. It's different, but I mean, I'm so happy to be and be blessed and have the privilege to be the executive director, and even during these difficult times, I'm praying a lot. I say, God, okay, I'm not gonna leave this ministry, because this is difficult time. So we have to be strong each other. We have to be with you, because you need us now. You need us to be in this ministry, and how we can bring idea, how to survive, because those kids need the center. And that is the big challenge for us. But yes, we hope and we have a stronger belief that team will come. Yeah. Well, we have this year the first 2 teams. Awesome. That was awesome. Yay, so we started this 2023. Well, the first team, it was January 4.
Oh wow!
Yes, so it was like the whole staff and the kid. We're so excited. They say yes, 2023 is the year. Yeah, we love you. I mean, we love to have teams. When you be there, you feel it. You will feel it. You will feel the love. Yeah.
And the campus is so beautiful. Again, the food is great.
Yes.
It's a nice, safe campus. It's large. It's so big and wonderful. So when you come down as a team. Again, y'all's website, John, is wonderful. Vanessa, the website people have done a great job. There's even a tab on there on how to plan a trip and even what a week looks like. So you fly into Managua and then you bus out to Leon, right? That's pretty much still the way of doing that. So Managua is pretty much the only big airport, isn't it? So yeah. So you do that, and then you come and you stay for about a week. So is it 3 or 4 or 5 days that you work and interact with everybody?
Yeah, it's really like almost 6.
6 days? Okay.
6 days, or 5 to 6. And it really depends on what your team wants to do.
Sure.
The beauty of it is with Dora and Franklin, who are teams and community, they know where the needs are. Sure. They can tell you, here's opportunities that we'd like you to consider. But if it's medical, if it's something dental, if it's you want to do construction, if you want to do what we've changed the name. We used to call them food bags. That was kind of like, that's a terrible name. So they're blessing bags. They have basic essentials. Some of it food, matches, oil, other essentials, toilet paper, which we take for granted. And they know where to disperse them so that the blessings go to where they're needed, you don't have to go to Nicaragua and figure out what can I do, how can I help, and then what you do isn't necessarily helping. So that is pre-planned with you. So whoever leads a team, they work with Dora, and it's a collaborative effort to what does your team skills, what would they like to do? And then really going from there, and then you will ultimately, after 2-3 phone calls type of thing, you'll have a draft agenda to review, and then you'll be able to have a final agenda before you come. But there is a really, really good saying for any mission trip is, blessed are the flexibles, so they shall not be bent out of shape, because things change.
Completely.
And so that's really the only requirement, is that you're flexible and where's God calling you to be in mission, and then we'll help make that happen.
Okay, great. What are some of your greatest needs right now, Vanessa? I mean, for the ministry, what are some of the greatest needs that you have? We talked about sponsorship of children. We know that's getting teams down. Those are important. And those may be the greatest needs, but is there something beyond the children and the campus? What are some of the greater needs that you have right now?
Well, I don't know if you remember the rancho.
Yes, I do.
Remember?
Yeah, very much.
Beautiful. Yeah. That is.
Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me something bad's happened to it.
You do devotional. Yes, it's destroyed. Almost destroyed.
Oh no!
With a big hug. Yes, like.
Yeah. You can see the sky. You can sit underneath the thatch roof.
It's so
beautiful.
Now, y'all, this is one of the best places in the world to sit.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous. There's rocking chairs. It's cool under there.
You can now see the stars when you're sitting underneath there. Look up. So
that's not good news for my heart.
Yeah, that's and it's really, so we have a roof program that we're trying to do, because even a couple of the short-term missionary apartments. So our goal is to raise $21,000 for the rancho, which is near and dear to your heart. We don't normally stay in the missionary apartments, but there's also those. And so for the rancho, we need about $6,000 to be able to replace that beautiful thatch roof with one that doesn't leak anymore. So it wouldn't work real well because in the rainy season, which is coming up in, when is it, Vanessa?
May.
In May. So we're hoping to be able to replace that. So you have to take off the old, redo the structural stuff. And if you go to our website on the donate page, you'll see a little picture of it. The picture, it looks a little worse than what the picture shows. But I have a few pictures on my phone from our last trip that says, yeah, we really need to fix this.
We'll be changing the roof from the guest house number 1 is the kitchen area is new.
Okay.
And then we changed the ACN area, the roof is new. The clinic too.
Okay.
But we have now, I was so embarrassed when they came. I mean, I talked to the board because we have a monthly meeting.
Sure.
And I say, you know what? Before you come in here, I just want to tell you that the roof, the apartment, is not good. But I was so embarrassed because it's about money. We have no money, and that's
Sure.
why I feel like how I can say this, how I can tell them that there is more needs, but I have to tell them because when they be here, they will say, Vanessa, why
did you tell
never
us?
tell?" Yes.
Yes, I understand.
I told them, I say, you know what, this is bad, and I will take picture and send it to them, and then I say, the rancho that looks so bad too. It was broke my heart. Same feeling like you.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking about if we have team coming, I don't want they see this. It's so really, really bad, and it's one of the beautiful place that we have to do devotional at night.
Yeah, devotionals
So
at night.
beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
And it's just like your house.
Yeah.
If we own a house, if you're not living in an apartment, you have all of those annual or every 5 to 10 years, whether it's an AC unit, and we don't have very many of those because it's not air conditioned in general. But so things need replacement. And the ministry's been operating since 1998. Didn't have some of the facilities then, but so most of the buildings on the campus are 15 plus years old. A few are closer to 10.
Wow.
But we really haven't done new buildings in the last 10 years. And so it's all getting to the point where it's older. And so things need repair and maintenance. And, with the last 4 years with COVID and everything without teams, we were in, having to watch every penny we were spending. And so you tried to defer those things because we needed to make sure we could care for the kids, which is the number one priority. But now, hopefully with teams coming back, we'll be able to do that and be in a better position. And we will look to start some fundraising in February.
Okay.
I guess it is February now.
It is.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should start.
The groundhog has spoken. Yes, it is.
I don't like
February,
the groundhog.
So. Me either. That's the consensus of the Northside Now podcast. Is the groundhog is not our friend.
I don't think he goes.
We are so excited, Vanessa, to have you here with us. But I need to know something.
Okay.
What's the neatest thing that you've been able to do here in the U.S. or you've seen or something that you just didn't expect to see? How's your visit been so far?
Well, so far as I just been here Friday and Saturday morning, and I don't know. I mean, I feel very comfortable, honestly.
Yeah, good. Does it feel like home?
Uh-huh.
Good.
Yes,
That's good. As much as home can feel.
I told
right?
John that I say, I'm so glad to be here and so happy. I mean, at their home, so they train me very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very, very well. And then when I came, my first church, it was Northside Church.
Yes.
So it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Was very touched for me.
Yeah.
Very, it was so special. It was so, and I was like, okay, God. I mean, He knew it. That this needs to be a good beginning. It needs to start with Northside Church. I was really in shock and very emotional. Very emotional yesterday. I cried a lot.
Yeah.
I lost my makeup. Yes, a lot. I'm like, okay. But it was really good. I mean, so very, very. It's beautiful to see you.
Yes.
Yes, to see our friends. We loved you. So very good. Very, very, very touched.
Yeah.
Emotional. And see Daphne. It's so good. It's a lot of memories because we worked together in the past because she was part of this El Ayudante in the beginning. So it was really, really touched. Very good.
Yeah.
We have big plans for her because if anybody has seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, that's how Vanessa is going to go around the U.S. And we're even hoping to maybe get her on a Harley A good friend of mine has a Harley, and so we want her to experience all the different foods, all the different modes of transportation. I don't think I can get her on a donkey or a cart or anything, but I think she can take care of that in Nicaragua. But it's great to have her here.
It was really hard for me the first night.
Yeah.
Because I was frozen, honestly. I came at 2 a.m. and I thought, oh, this is how it needs to be every day. I was like, okay, God, it was like frozen. It was like, okay.
I think it was about -8.
The good thing is the weather's going to warm up while you're here, so that's good.
Yes, like, God is good.
She brought us a little Nicaraguan weather with us.
Yes, I was like, yes, God is so good.
Vanessa, it has been a blessing to have you here with us today, and we've dropped a few challenges to those that are listening. Let's sponsor these children, and let's get some of this done. Check out eanicaragua.com. And they have great information, great website, everything you would need to know there to bring a team down or to sponsor a child, even sponsor a teacher on here as well. And that's important because, teachers here don't get paid what they need to. And I guarantee you teachers all over the world don't. And they spend a lot of their own money helping the kids. And so help our teachers out, even in Nicaragua. You are family, Vanessa, and you are always welcome.
Oh,
and
thank you so
it is
much.
a blessing to have you here. And I am praying hard that I will see you the next time in Nicaragua sooner than later. And thank you, John. We're glad that you were here. And John can answer all your questions. If you have any questions about El Ayudante after Vanessa leaves and things, John is a very active member of Northside and can answer any of those questions, as can many of the rest of us. But a lot of us will probably just send you to John. And then if we really want the answer, Heather is here as well. She's been taking pictures and things, but we're glad you're here with us as too, Heather.
Thanks for hosting us. It's been great. We'll probably put this podcast on our website, so people will be able to do it there too. So it's been a blessing to be here. Words can't describe it.
Well, thank you. It is, the blessing is all ours, believe me. And so we look forward to being together again soon. All right. Thank y'all.
Adios.
Thank you.
It's so good to see Vanessa.
Yeah. It makes me want to go back.
Yes.
Nicaragua, it holds a place in my heart because it's really the only international mission trip that I've been on. And I went in 2007 when I was a senior in high school. So got a lot of memories from that.
Yeah, I would love to go.
We've all been on international mission trips and stuff like that. There's something to me, I don't care where you go. I think Kevin, we were talking about going to Belize or something one time, and Africa, Nicaragua, we've been in Costa Rica, the Bahamas, Mexico. It doesn't matter. You come back with some of the greatest stories ever. And to reminisce, because I went to El Ayudante a long time, for a lot of times. Yeah. And I think it was over 10 or something like that. And so there's just some great stories with people like Pastor Gary and this black killer moth that was in our room one night. And just watching grown men try to get this moth out of our bedroom. Jimmy Craig and I were talking about it not long ago, and I think that was the last time I was so sore from laughing. Laughed myself silly watching this.
Yeah.
It's some of the greatest. I mean, if I'd have just had a camera, I mean, I'd be YouTube famous, TikTok famous, whatever. But you create great bonds and memories during those times like the Ranchero, that's the reason that's so sad is, oh my goodness, how many great conversations have happened under that beautiful
That was like every
Ranchero.
night you sit out there and
awesome. So I don't know, you just develop those relationships that are just wild. So, in Nicaragua, anytime they have like a volcano eruption or something, you begin to wonder, you don't wonder like, is El Ayudante okay? You start wondering, is Vanessa okay? Is Carlos okay? You start going down the list of names of people that you know.
Because they have a volcano right there near Leon.
Yeah. You actually can go in the backyard, I guess, and see them along the horizon.
Yeah, there's more than one.
Are
they active? I mean,
when I was there in 2007, we got to climb one of the volcanoes. That was cool because we got to the top. We looked down and there's like, the crater's like smoking and stuff.
Nice.
Like, hey, that could erupt right now.
Nice.
Did you ever see the video of the dude that rode the bicycle down that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he had a horrible wreck. Broke like almost every bone in his body.
Oh no, because here's the thing: you climb the volcano, but you don't climb down the volcano
the way you came up.
You climb up and you slide down, and that's
because it's too dangerous to go down the way you came up. Which I was like, "Are you all sure?"
Yeah. So you slide down the side of, and it's like gravel almost.
Yeah.
It's like, and so like by the time you get to the bottom, you're like comparing who's got the most
Rashes
cuts and
and
rashes and
who has part of their clothes torn off.
I
of
know.
them.
Oh my goodness.
It was fun though. It was good memories.
Was Buckley Parker on that trip? Where you
Yeah.
and he tumbled down a
He
little
did.
ways.
He,
and
like-
just scratched himself all to pieces.
Yeah, I think he won that contest.
Ooh.
And then you got to sit down at the bottom and get all those little rocks out of your shoes, you
Yeah.
know, because you can't take a step without it just going through you.
Yeah.
So the memories that happen on those trips are really, really special.
Yeah. It's the first time I ever mixed concrete on the ground with a shovel.
Yeah, done that. That's fun. So highly encourage folks, get involved in these organizations like this, especially the ones that our church, you know, or your church, if you're not a part of Northside and you're listening to this, is involved with, because the relationships you build with the people inside of your church and in a new place, they're just life altering. So just really encourage you to get involved. And again, eanicaragua.com, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And great website, very easy to move around in, and it has tons of information. So
Yeah, and I would just say, adding to what we talked about in the actual interview, but you know, there's a lot going on in our Northside family right now. But the last thing I think that I would want people to do is just sit and wait for things to happen.
yeah,
We're having the 28 days of prayer.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's sort of becoming clear to me is that we need to be doing things. We need to be in action.
yeah,
We need to be taking an active role in whatever it is, whether it's praying for the selection teams, whether it's giving them feedback. I know we recently had the youth survey
yeah,
to talk about who the youth leadership would be, and lots of good questions there. I know we all go through seasons in our life. You know, there's times where we can be active and times where there's real reasons we aren't, right? Either your personal life or family situation or whatever it is, or health, lots of different things. But resist the temptation to just sit,
yeah,
be active. Now, there's obviously a time to be still and know that I am God. That's a part of, even back in early Jewish culture and to today's Jewish culture, there is a time of rest. There's a time where you're not allowed to work, Shabbat. And I think that's an important part of our Christian life. But especially if you're feeling like you're in a season of rest, maybe it's time to reactivate and get involved.
Yeah.
There's tons and tons of ministries here. But as we've said many times, as leadership has said many times, there's opportunity to start a new ministry. So
Sure.
that's what I'm going to be thinking about here in this month of February for sure. Already I'm doing that. And you know, what news is going to come out of it is exciting. One of them could be you on a mission trip that changes your life. And as John mentioned, their life and marriage and family trajectory has been changed forever.
yeah, exactly.
John and Heather, and how they've committed to that particular ministry. You just don't know, but God opens those doors, and hopefully we can recognize the opportunities to walk through them.
Yeah. And Patrick, I hope all your friends at Starbucks won't miss you.
I know, right?
Starbucks.
I feel a little
Attacked.
Now, the truth is, I don't have my glasses on right now, so I can't even see if that's a Starbucks cup. I just threw that out there because there's Starbucks on almost every corner, depending on where you live. And if it's not Starbucks, maybe around here it's Green Frog or
I don't know,
Humboldt
though.
Coffee or wherever.
We have
Dunkin'.
what, 4 Starbucks per 10 people in this town?
Oh no.
I don't know, but probably.
I think there's like 7 Starbucks in town.
Are there really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's amazing.
And 2 Chick-fil-A's.
And 2 Chick-fil-A's. But yeah, so well, goodness. So definitely a great interview with Vanessa and John and everybody, and they're definitely champions for that ministry, and a good blessing to us all. Patrick, what else is whipping up? Dude, we are halfway through February.
I know.
How'd that happen?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But for the rest of the month of February, we've still got our first quarter mission focus going on. That's Fill This House. It's to help fill the new Scarlet Rope Project house. And there's all sorts of items that they're needing donated. And you can look on the website on the missions page to see that list of items. It's things like garbage bags and light bulbs and toilet paper and things like that they need. So if you could donate any of those, just bring those up to the church, drop them in the mission bin or leave them in the office, and that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
We've also got all of our, before we get to the end of February, we have Ash Wednesday.
Yes.
Make sure you put that on your calendars. That's going to kick off our Lenten season. That's on February the 22nd. We'll still have dinner at 5 o'clock, and then we'll have our Ash Wednesday service at 6 o'clock in the sanctuary.
Yep.
So make sure you get that. And now, before the end of the month, because some of these deadlines and the payments are due by the 1st of March. So if you're wanting to go on any of the trips being sponsored by the Joy Group, one is to the Paris Lodge Landing Restaurant. Mm-hmm. One is to the Mesa Trail Alpaca Farm, which that's the one I really want to go on. I want to go pet some baby alpaca. Going. And the third one is they're taking a trip up to St. Louis to see a Cardinals game. I think it's the Cardinals versus the Brewers. So if you want to go on any of those, make sure you talk to Ed or Lila Bodkins, because some of the deadlines and things are needing to be turned in by the 1st of March. You can go and find out more information on all of those trips on our website, northsidejackson.com/joygroup. And that information will be there. But if you want to take any of those trips, I encourage you to check that out.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, all that sounds fun.
Yeah.
They may not have enough buses to get everybody to the baby alpaca farm thing.
It sounds like that's the trip of the season.
They're going to have to charter a bus for that one.
I think that's part of the plan. Maybe.
I think on that one also they're going to stop at Ada's Country Store for lunch, which is like the Amish place. So, yeah.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
Check mark. I'm going.
What's going on with the basketball?
Well, we are about to get into the tournament. February Madness, not March Madness and Church League.
Are any of our 7 teams in the tournament?
Oh, yeah. Everybody gets to go to the tournament.
Oh, okay.
These may not all stay in it very long.
Gotcha.
So, but now we'll do good this year and be able to do that.
I feel like we've got it on just numbers alone this year. We have 7 teams.
We dominate the numbers.
That's how we're working off volume this year and not. But yeah, we were able to do the Battle of the Berg after the big snowstorms and all that, or ice storms. That was fun. Gym was full on a Sunday night, and everybody was. The funny thing is, we could have added one of the boys' games to that because it got iced out, but we didn't. We didn't get on with the city quick enough to make that happen. So, kind of wish we'd known that going ahead of time. Thank you, Groundhog. But anyways, that was a fun time. It was fun.
It was good. Yeah, I came out to cheer that on.
It was good. A lot of people did that.
Yeah, it was a good group.
Didn't look like they were connected with the kids particularly or specifically. It was fun. We have a long tradition of basketball dominance in this.
Yeah, we do.
If you've ever looked at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, just come down the hall.
In the gym.
Yeah, we've had some really good teams, always from little bitties all the way up to the men's teams. And
but
they don't have women's church league or women's league basketball, I don't think, in Jackson. I don't know if they ever did.
Is it co-ed?
They did run a co-ed for a while, but I don't know if they still do. I have a really funny story about that. Is co-ed had this woman just run me over one time, It's like, found out afterwards she was like a superstar at Union.
Oh, really?
And who knew, and she was a great player.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, girls basketball is a little different, guys. Girls basketball resembles hockey or soccer or something.
MMA, maybe.
Yeah.
Now,
they're not afraid.
Do they still have an adult league?
They do. West Jackson ran it last year. And they play at a weird time, though.
Got it.
And so I'm not sure. If we find out information people are interested, we can find out when it is. We'll put it out there and so people can, if they want to do it, jump on it.
Yeah, I don't know if there'd be enough here to do it or not, but.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. Battle of the Berg was fun. Team 2 won it, the young girls.
Yeah, a little bit of an upset. The younger girls beat the older girls.
They did. They were hitting on all cylinders, as they say.
But it was also cool to see, Tom and Daniel were the refs.
Yeah.
And, everybody that participated was Northside. So it was cool.
Yeah. Some of the youth ran the concession stand. And, oh, my goodness, they had a blast.
We even had the Northside people, working the scoreboard.
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun. Good deal. Maybe we need to have, men come and play that deal. Our women are have a co-ed, just Northside basketball
Or it'd be
team.
fun to have a night where it's just pastors, staff,
Oh,
like a celebrity tournament. One game where you have celebrities that are, board of elders, whatever.
I'd rather
That'd be
get
fun.
this box of boxing gloves out and see some celebrity
Or
boxing.
maybe,
Black tie and boxing.
are you signing up? Who's going to be on the card with Patrick?
Let's go.
Yeah, that's
That'll be fun.
Have y'all ever been to a donkey basketball game?
What?
That was a popular thing when I was growing up. They'd come in as a fundraiser and you'd kind of do, like you said, a celebrity thing, but you rode donkeys up and down the gym court and you bounced the ball and you had to shoot it. It's the funniest thing
It's
you
like
have ever
hillbilly polo.
seen. Yeah.
Hillbilly polo.
Yeah. I wouldn't find out is donkey basketball still a thing. It was really
I never heard of that before.
hilarious. I mean, it's just been a Texas thing. I don't know. But yeah. It was a very popular thing. A lot of small schools would use it as a fundraiser and people playing basketball on a donkey.
All right.
You'd run around 10 donkeys on the court.
Wow.
I hadn't heard that one before.
That's a lot of cleanup.
That's a lot. I think they.
Are you sure this isn't just a Texas thing?
It may be. I'll need to find something.
Well, I remember like greased pig and greased pole and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that was when I was a lot younger.
We had the Battle of the Berg. Maybe next year we'll just have the Donkey Talk staff versus someone else in donkey basketball.
Wow.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks for podcasting with me. And thanks to all of you out there in the world for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all of the latest from us, you can follow us on Instagram at Northside NOW Podcast. Go to our website, northsidejackson.com, or email us at podcast@northsidejackson.com. We hope to hear from you soon. Once again, this is Patrick.
This is Glenn.
I'm Kevin.
And that's what's happening at Northside Now.
Adios.